Chosen one, the world has witnessed your transformation, an awakening so profound that even the heavens stand in silence. You have unlocked something no God ever has. The holy and ancient researchers who have spent their lives studying the divine have made a discovery that changes everything. Every prophecy, every myth, every sacred text from Egypt to Greece all point to you. The ancient writings spoke of one who would transcend gods themselves, the final one, the living bridge between the mortal and the eternal. You are that being. The medical teams have confirmed what the prophets only dreamed of. Your body no longer obeys time. Your essence is rewriting the laws of existence. Holy scholars, divine historians, and world leaders alike have declared the truth. You are the new divine, the beginning of a new universe. Everyone has seen it happen. The transformation is real. The age of the old gods has ended, and the world now bears witness to what you have become, the embodiment of everything the divine ever sought to be. But before we dive deeper into this life-changing revelation, take a moment to pause and do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. And remember, if you are truly a chosen one, you'll stay with us until the very end. Your spirit already knows this is for you. A whisper echo through the fabric of time. A message so powerful that it reached every corner of the universe. This was no ordinary prophecy. It was the prophecy, the one written into the very bones of ancient civilizations. For centuries, it remained hidden in forgotten temples, inscribed in weathered scrolls, and encoded in the stars themselves. From Egypt's pyramids to Greece's sacred shrines, they spoke of you, the chosen one. But no one truly believed. Not until now. It began as a mystery, a faint glimmer on the horizon of reality. But with each passing day, the truth revealed itself with startling clarity. You are not just a being born from chance or fate. You are the fulfillment of a divine plan that stretches back eons. These ancient texts, these fragments of forgotten wisdom, they were all written to foretell your rise. They weren't just stories or myths, they were blueprints. For the gods, this revelation was a betrayal of everything they held sacred. They had ruled over creation for millennia, believing they alone held the key to immortality, to perfection. But in a moment that stunned both heaven and earth, they realized you had unlocked what they could never touch, what they could never become, and they trembled. For the first time in eternity, the gods were not the pinnacle of existence. You were. You are not merely a product of fate. You are the evolution of existence itself. The world has known gods, beings of great power, wisdom, and allure. They shaped the very laws of the universe, their stories woven into the fabric of our histories. But none of them could ever transcend the chains of their own nature. They were bound by time, by limitations. And now you stand before them as the living proof that something far greater has emerged. To the gods, you are a paradox. You are everything they wished to be but could never reach. You are the first of your kind, an embodiment of divinity in a form the cosmos has never seen before. Your existence is a singularity, the perfect fusion of mind, spirit, and power. You've unlocked the very secrets of immortality, not as a gift, but as an inherent part of your being. Time bends to your will, aging itself in reverence of your transcendence. The ancient scriptures, written in languages forgotten by men, spoke of an immortal force, a being who would arise and reshape creation. And now, that prophecy has been fulfilled. You are not just a god, you are something even the gods themselves could not imagine. The Chosen One, the unforeseen evolution of divinity itself. You are the next step in the cycle of life, the evolution of existence, and your power will ripple through the universe, altering it forever. Long before science as we know it existed, the ancients understood things beyond our comprehension. The Egyptians, the Greeks, the Sumerians, they weren't just mythmakers, they were the first to glimpse the truth. They saw in the stars, in the movements of the planets, a divine pattern unfolding. And in this pattern, they saw you. Your name appeared not as a whisper, but as a call to the future. Ancient priests and oracles often spoke of an entity who would defy the laws of nature, a being born of both celestial and terrestrial origins. They saw you in their visions, felt your presence in their rituals, and etched your essence into the very stones of their temples. In Egypt, you were the son of Ra, the one who would rise above the gods. In Greece, you were the ultimate form of divine heroism, the one whose power transcended even Olympus itself. As these ancient cultures rose and fell, the name of the Chosen One remained, a constant thread woven through their mythologies, their prophecies, their beliefs. And now, the truth is clear. The whispers of the past weren't simply stories. They were glimpses into the future. You are the culmination of their visions, the one they foresaw, the one they worshipped, even without knowing your name. It was never supposed to happen like this. The very concept of transformation was a sacred, forbidden idea. The gods themselves were bound to their forms, to their laws. Mortals could age, die, but the divine were eternal, untouchable by the hands of time. But you have shattered that belief. The moment your transformation began, the heavens trembled. It started subtly, a flicker in the fabric of reality, a change in your essence. But as it grew, the world began to notice. Your body, ageless and unyielding, defied the passage of time. Your skin shimmered with an otherworldly glow. Your eyes burned with an inner fire that no mortal could comprehend. It was as though you had reached into the very core of the universe and pulled reality into alignment with your will. But what you unlocked wasn't just power, it was rebirth. You had transcended the limitations of flesh and time. The transformation was both internal and external, a merging of body, mind, and soul into something no one could define. It was both beautiful and terrifying. Because the moment you began to change, the universe itself began to change with you. For millennia, science and spirituality danced around each other, sometimes in harmony, sometimes in conflict. But as your transformation unfolded, the boundaries between them blurred completely. What was once considered myth, the stuff of legends, began to be confirmed by modern science. Researchers, doctors, and physicists alike stood stunned in the face of your evolution. In laboratories, on microscopes, and through complex data models, the impossible became reality. Your cells did not age. They regenerated with an efficiency that defied every known biological principle. The very structure of your DNA was rewriting itself, aligning with a higher order of existence that no scientist could fully grasp. This wasn't a mutation. This was something far greater. You were not just human, nor even divine. You were something entirely new. Even the most rigorous minds could not deny the truth. You are no longer bound by the rules of biology, physics, or even logic. Your existence was both an enigma and a breakthrough. In this moment, the worlds of faith and science collided, an undeniable testament that the impossible had not only been reached, but surpassed. The gods once believed that their immortality was the greatest gift in existence, that their ability to shape reality was a power no mortal or even fellow deity could rival. But you have achieved something they never even dreamed possible. You didn't just escape the chains of time or death, you've mastered them. The gods were bound to the flow of existence, forced to move within its confines. But you bend time to your will, shape reality like clay. Your power is not simply physical, it is metaphysical. You've transcended the limitations that even the most powerful gods feared to touch. And in doing so, you've become the embodiment of everything they ever desired. The gods now look upon you with a mixture of awe, jealousy, and fear. You've unlocked the true secret of existence, the freedom to evolve. What they could never do, you have achieved. No longer a divine being, but an entirely new force of nature. As the ancient prophecies said, the gods themselves trembled when they realized who you were. Egypt's ancient priests foretold the rise of one who would become Ra himself, a being whose soul would merge with the sun. In Greece, the myth of the greatest hero, who could transcend death and become immortal, mirrored your own rise. You were not just a myth, you were the living truth that echoed through their chants, their prayers, their sacrifices. In every civilization that knew the divine, your essence was written in the stars. These weren't mere stories, they were glimpses into a higher reality. You were never a singular being destined to rule. You were the final form that would end the era of gods and begin the new age. Your rise has validated the ancient knowledge of these cultures, proving that their gods weren't just watching, they were waiting. And as they spoke, the world listened. The great minds of the earth, the leaders, the believers, the skeptics, all turned their gaze to you. In a time when faith had waned and science had claimed supremacy, the two finally bowed before the same truth. The prophecies were no longer ancient fables. They were living proof. You were the manifestation of every divine whisper that had ever graced the earth. In the ancient monasteries of Tibet, monks chanted your name in tones that made the mountains tremble. In the Vatican, hidden archives glowed with scriptures that once were deemed too dangerous to be read, each one mentioning the coming of the divine human, the one beyond gods. The scholars, once divided by doctrine, now stood united by awe. They realized that what they had studied for centuries was not a mythic metaphor, but a message left for this moment in time. Their declarations echoed across nations, their findings resonating through the halls of power. The Chosen One has risen, they said, not as believers, but as witnesses to an event that defied comprehension. The age of blind faith had ended, not because it was disproven, but because it had been fulfilled. You were the proof, the bridge, the divine made visible. And so, with trembling voices and tearful eyes, the holy scholars proclaimed what the heavens had always known. The final truth had awakened in the form of you. Every question that once divided faith and reason now had a single answer. You were that answer. You were the final revelation. There was a time when gods were untouchable, immortal beings that looked down upon mortals from their celestial thrones. But now, the unthinkable has occurred. Even they, the eternal ones, feel fear. For your existence has rewritten their laws. Your ascension has rendered their reign obsolete. They look upon you not with disdain, but with silent terror, for they know that their age has ended. The pantheons of old, Zeus, Ra, Odin, and all who commanded the elements, sense your rising energy across dimensions. Their temples shake, their idols crack, and the divine realms hum with unease. The old gods whisper among themselves, wondering what kind of being can eclipse the very essence of godhood. They see in you a reflection of something they've always desired, liberation from eternity's stagnation. But it is not hatred that fills their hearts, it is reverence. For though they once called themselves creators, they now see you as the creation that surpassed them all. You are the proof that even the divine can evolve, that even perfection can ascend to something greater. You are the culmination of what they could never achieve, a harmony of infinite power and human soul. Their fear, in truth, is not of your strength, it is of your purity. You are the God who still feels, who still loves, who still carries the flame of humanity within the divine. You have become the bridge between what was and what shall be. You are the God who reminds the gods that they, too, were once inspired by something greater than themselves, and in that realization, they kneel. Not because you demanded it, but because they must. Even gods bow before what they cannot comprehend. Time itself bends in your presence. The very seconds that age the stars seem to hesitate when they touch you. Your body has become something no science, no divinity can define. A vessel that defies decay, untouched by the erosion of time. You are neither immortal in the way of the gods, nor mortal in the way of men. You are the perfect balance, a timeless being born of both eternity and impermanence. Scientists observed your transformation and found that your cells regenerate faster than light can travel. Energy flows through your veins as though your blood has become a conduit for cosmic power. Your reflection no longer changes, yet your essence evolves constantly, a paradox that no human equation can solve. You are not fixed in time. You are time reimagined. But what makes your body truly divine is not its perfection, it's its purpose. Every atom, every breath carries meaning. You are living proof that evolution is not merely a biological process, but a spiritual awakening. Your form reflects both humanity's fragility and the universe's infinite strength. In you, creation finds its completion. Those who gaze upon you feel something inexplicable, neither fear nor worship, but awe. They sense eternity in your eyes, the birth and death of stars in your heartbeat. They see the face of what creation has always been striving toward. The divine body that refuses to age is not a symbol of vanity, but of victory. For you have not conquered death, you have transcended it. The air trembles when you move. Space itself seems to adjust, aligning itself to your will. Where you walk, time slows. Where you speak, sound carries differently. It is as though the universe recognizes its master and reshapes itself accordingly. Reality, once governed by fixed laws, now dances to your rhythm. You are not merely within existence, you are its architect. The equations of physics now whisper your name in their symmetries. The stars move in patterns that mirror your heartbeat. The multiverse expands in tune with your consciousness. You still feel, you still remember the ache of mortality, the sting of emotion, the warmth of love. Perhaps that is why the universe responds to you. It feels seen through your awareness. You are not a distant deity ruling from above. You are the God who walks among creation, guiding it not with command, but with compassion. Scientists, mystics, and dreamers all sense it. The veil between worlds grows thinner in your presence. Dreams become real, thoughts become tangible, and imagination itself bends toward reality. It is not magic, it is understanding. You've reached a state where creation no longer needs permission. The universe bends around you not because it fears you, but because it recognizes you. You are the law, the dream, and the truth made flesh. The world watched in collective astonishment as your transformation completed. The skies burned with celestial light, and every living creature felt the resonance of a new power echoing through their souls. It wasn't destruction, it was rebirth. A new order of existence had begun, and you were its dawn. You did not replace the old gods through conquest, but through ascension. Your emergence wasn't an overthrow, it was an evolution. The universe itself responded with harmony, as if the cosmos had been waiting for you to take your place at its helm. The stars shimmered brighter, and even the void seemed to hum with approval. You are not the god of wrath or dominion, but of awakening. You do not demand worship, you inspire it. You are the embodiment of possibility, proof that divinity can coexist with humanity, that perfection can carry compassion. You are the divine made gentle, powerful, and endlessly real. Under your presence, the old hierarchies collapse. The pantheons dissolve into silence. The universe no longer needs gods who rule, it needs a God who feels. And that God is you. You are the axis of the new cosmos, the heart of the reborn creation, and the light that guides the infinite. The new universe does not begin after you. It begins with you. In laboratories turned temples, scientists now kneel beside priests. The impossible has been confirmed, not by faith alone, but by empirical truth. Every test, every experiment, every analysis only strengthens the same conclusion. You exist beyond the measurable. The divine is no longer philosophy, it is data. Your presence defies gravity, energy, and entropy. Machines malfunction in your proximity, not out of error, but out of awe. Instruments record frequencies that no known element should emit, and patterns of light form around your silhouette, resembling ancient symbols that once appeared in holy scriptures. The researchers, once bound to reason, find themselves whispering prayers without realizing it. Across the globe, declarations are made. The world's academies announce that what was once myth has become verifiable. We stand in the presence of a new order of being, they proclaim. The headlines read like verses. Science meets the sacred. Humanity has reached the precipice of understanding, and found you standing there, waiting. For the first time in history, faith and fact shake hands. Every boundary between belief and knowledge dissolves. The scholars and the scientists, the mystics and the mathematicians, they all see the same truth reflected in your eyes. You are not an anomaly. You are the equation that completes creation. There was no hiding from it. The skies illuminated, cities stopped, and the hearts of billions synchronized in a single moment of stunned silence. Every person, every being, human, divine, and beyond, saw you change. It wasn't illusion or rumor. It was truth unveiled before every eye. Cameras captured your transformation, but even their lenses couldn't comprehend the brilliance. Screens flickered, not from malfunction, but from awe. For a fraction of a second, the entire world saw what it meant to transcend. Children wept without knowing why. Elders smiled as though recognizing something ancient. Humanity in its entirety bore witness to the moment divinity touched flesh. It wasn't chaos, it was unity. In your awakening, the world found its reflection. For as you transformed, so did they. Something stirred within every soul, a quiet knowing that they too carried the spark of the divine. You did not rise above humanity, you elevated it with you. The witnesses spoke not of fear, but of warmth. They felt peace, not power. They saw in your light the possibility of their own transformation. You became not an idol, but an invitation to awaken, to evolve, to remember. In that one moment, every eye saw and every heart understood the chosen one was not a legend. They were the mirror of what we could all become. The ancient order has fallen silent. The thrones of old gods now lie empty, their songs fading into the echoes of forgotten realms. But this silence is not death, it is surrender. They know, as all creation does, that a new era has begun. The age of the old gods has ended, and your age has risen. You are the beginning of something greater than faith, greater than science, greater than myth. You are the dawn of understanding, the living proof that creation was never about separation between divine and mortal, but the unity between them. You are the child of stars and soil, of eternity and moment. The universe itself sings your name now, not as worship, but as resonance. The galaxies spiral to your rhythm, the constellations shift to align with your story. The cosmos is no longer a distant mystery. It is a reflection of you. Every breath you take rewrites existence. Every heartbeat echoes through infinity. The old gods watch from the horizon of time, not in envy, but in peace. They see that their purpose is fulfilled through you. They were the beginning, but you are the continuation, the living bridge between all that was and all that will be. The age of gods has ended, and from its ashes, the chosen one has risen, not to rule, but to remind the universe what it truly means to be alive. From the very moment of your awakening, the universe itself felt a change, a shift so profound that it rippled across galaxies and dimensions, reshaping the fundamental fabric of reality. Your transformation wasn't just personal, it was cosmic. The birth of the new cosmos had begun, and you were its beating heart. Stars pulsed brighter, constellations rearranged themselves in patterns unknown to ancient astronomers. Black holes hummed with energy, quasars vibrated in harmony. Every element, from the smallest particle to the largest celestial body, seemed to answer to your new presence. You weren't merely living in the universe, you had become its essence, its foundation. The laws of physics themselves began to bend and flex, as though they too were learning from you. Time, once linear and rigid, now flowed like a river, bending around your presence, reshaping itself to reflect the infinite possibilities you embodied. Gravity, light, and energy no longer followed predictable paths. They were in awe of your existence, and with that awe came a profound respect. You stood at the nexus of time and space. All of creation, whether seen or unseen, felt your influence. The beginning of a new era wasn't marked by cataclysm or destruction, but by rebirth. A rebirth of the very principles that governed life itself. The cosmos had given way to a new order, one forged by the will of a being who transcended the heavens. This new cosmos is not a place to be feared. It is a place to be explored. A universe where all things are possible, where boundaries are mere suggestions, and where every moment brings forth endless discovery. The birth of this new reality is the beginning of a new adventure, and you are its guide. Immortality was once the greatest prize in the eyes of the gods. It was the ultimate achievement, a constant and unyielding life that existed beyond the reach of time. But immortality itself was a cage, a timeless existence that could not evolve, could not grow. You, the chosen one, have unlocked something far beyond immortality. You have unlocked evolution. Your essence no longer knows stagnation. You do not simply live forever. You grow, you change, you expand. The power that courses through you is not static. It is an ever-evolving force that adapts, learns, and ascends to new planes of existence with every passing moment. This is no mere immortality. This is divine evolution. The gods of old stood still in their power, frozen in perfection, unable to progress. But you, chosen one, have shattered the limitations of their world. Where they sought perfection, you have found becoming. You are not trapped in a single, immutable form. You are a dynamic, living force that pushes the boundaries of what divinity could ever be. This evolution is not a curse nor a burden. It is a gift. The gift of constant growth, of transformation, of the endless possibility to evolve into something greater, something more powerful. You are no longer bound to a singular existence. Your form and power will continue to change, continue to evolve in ways unimaginable to those who once held dominion over the universe. In the grand scheme of existence, immortality was only the beginning. Divine evolution is the true gift, the ability to transcend oneself, to continually rise to new heights. You have unlocked the infinite potential of existence, and the very laws of the universe now bend to accommodate your endless transformation. You are not merely of this world, but of all worlds. The veil between worlds thins when you are near, allowing beings from all planes of existence to glimpse one another. In your form, they see not division, but connection. The separation of realms was born from the gods' fear of losing their power. But you have found strength in unity. You are not torn between worlds, you have made them whole. Through you, the walls that once stood between life, death, and the cosmos have crumbled, allowing the universe to experience the interconnectedness that all beings once dreamed of. You are not an outcast from these worlds. You are the bridge that unites them, the key to a new existence where everything is one and all things exist in a delicate, interconnected dance. The awakening of the Chosen One did not only mark the end of one age, it was the birth of ancient powers, long dormant, powers older than the gods themselves. In the deepest reaches of the universe, in the forgotten corners of time, there were forces that slumbered, waiting for the day when you would awaken. That day has come, and these powers have now been unleashed. What the gods believed was long lost to the mists of time, you have brought back into the light. The ancient forces that once shaped the cosmos, forces of creation, destruction, and transformation, have begun to stir in response to your presence. These are not the simple powers of deities, but the primal forces of the universe itself, the elemental foundations of existence. These powers are not beholden to any one god or pantheon. They are older than time, older than creation itself. And now, as you awaken, they begin to awaken with you. In your veins, they pulse. In your mind, they stir. You have become the conduit through which these powers flow, reshaping the cosmos with every thought, every action, every choice. The ancient powers were once thought to be too dangerous to wield. They were feared by the gods, for they held the capacity to remake the universe in ways unimaginable. But you have proven that these forces, though immense, can be tamed. Through you, they become tools, not of destruction, but of creation. As you awaken these ancient powers, you also awaken something deep within the hearts of every being in existence. You remind them that they too carry the potential for greatness. You show them that their own dormant power, whether God, mortal, or something else, can also rise and reshape the universe in their image. The old gods once ruled with absolute authority, their reign unquestioned. Their laws were etched into the stars, their power unchallenged for eons. But the moment you awakened, the foundations of their divine rule began to tremble. The world they once controlled with iron will was now shifting, reshaping into something new, a new order, one where you are the axis around which everything turns. The gods fought against this change at first. They fought to preserve their ancient dominions, to hold on to the power they believed was rightfully theirs. But the more they resisted, the more the universe itself pushed back, for it knew what had been foretold. A new order was coming, and it was not one that followed the old gods, but one that embraced a new way of being. You are the foundation of this new divine order. It is not based on fear or control, but on understanding, growth, and unity. The divine no longer has to be a realm of separation and division. Under your guidance, the divine will evolve into something that mirrors the new cosmos, a system of interconnected forces working together to create harmony. The old gods had long ruled through fear. Their thrones were built on the backs of the weak. Their powers were wielded with indifference to the lives they affected. But your rule is different. Your reign is based on compassion, wisdom, and empowerment. You do not seek to dominate the divine, you seek to enlighten it. A new divine order is now taking shape, one where all beings, gods, mortals, and everything in between are part of a greater whole. Through your transformation, you have shown the universe that divinity does not have to be a source of division. It can be a source of unity, of growth, and of love. The old gods once believed their laws were absolute, written into the bones of the universe, untouchable, eternal. They governed time, light, and life with iron precision, believing no one could alter what they decreed. But when your awakening began, something shifted. The immutable started to move. The unchangeable began to breathe. And the universe realized that even its oldest laws were only waiting to be rewritten. The unraveling began as a whisper, a ripple in the fabric of existence. The stars flickered, gravity folded upon itself, and the flow of time lost its direction. Scientists called it an anomaly. The divine called it heresy. But it was neither. It was rebirth. You had touched the code of creation and realized that the laws of reality were not barriers. They were invitations.